Hi, I'm Jamie Dowswell, the Managing Director of Sustainable Aviation Futures, and I'm delighted today to be speaking with Christian Pho Duc, who's the Chief Technology Officer for Smartenergy Group. Smartenergy Group are also the lead sponsor of the Sustainable Aviation Futures Congress here in Amsterdam, so welcome, Christian. Christian, could we begin by perhaps just telling the audience a little bit about yourself and also Smartenergy, please?
Well, I'm the Chief Technology Officer of Smartenergy, and Smartenergy is a company focused on renewable assets. We develop and also bring forward this whole ecosystem on renewables, combining it with hydrogen and combining it with sustainable aviation fuels and other e-fuels. And this is a kind of a very, very important part in the decarbonization. With that, we could mitigate our efforts earlier on building up a pipeline in renewables, which is large-scale solar, also wind. And to put these two things together, the electrons and the molecules, is something which gives us somehow an approach into this market.
Yeah, it's really interesting. We're going to touch a little bit upon the e-fuel side of things as well. In terms of the first question I want to ask, really it's what role do you think green hydrogen has to play in scaling SAF, and how are the two interrelated?
Yeah, well, right now, you know, the established SAF obviously comes from the bio side, and it's quite has been already a path which we learned also here in the conference again since 2008-9, all these approvals. The eSAF is another topic on top where we see that the resources from a bio side is limited, and over time we will need more synthetic fuels, and for the synthetic, hydrogen is the key ingredient to make synthetic e-fuels. And hydrogen for me is also a very, very challenging part on having sufficient renewables. And that's where we come in as Smartenergy, that we really say, okay, we focus from the start, where is the feedstock? Somehow you can even say the sun is a feedstock for hydrogen, or the wind is a feedstock. We make hydrogen, which is then the feedstock for the e-fuels. So having sufficient hydrogen at the right price, obviously, and we'll come to that, is the top topic to get the e-fuel synthetic fuels done. We know the share in the beginning will be low, but even this low share to achieve it is quite a challenge. And so our focus really is to make hydrogen available at a big quantity, at good price, at the right locations. That's also important.
Yeah, absolutely. And SAF is a broad church, so it's going to take all types of SAF to sort of get to the supply that the industry needs, including synthetic fuels. Also really good to see that part of Refuel EU Aviation, there is that small mandate, which is linked to e-fuels as well. So really exciting to see where the industry goes in the next 5 to 10 years. On that note, what do you think are the biggest challenges that are facing the growth of e-fuels and e-SAF?
Yeah. And you mentioned this quotas which we have in Europe, yeah, the kind of 1.2% in e-fuel on the aviation side, and then it jumps to 5% in 2035, and then higher up in 2040. And these lead times for these projects are quite essential. And already going to this 2030 timeline is a challenging thing. Actually, kind of now we get to the situation that we need to approach FID for projects in order to cover the demand for 2030. So the FID on such projects is a very complex topic, because coming from renewables, this is an established market, luckily. But now with the hydrogen topic, with the e-fuels on top, the demand side, is it really safe enough? What is the right pricing? We have now a mechanism in Europe which gives a kind of a certainty that there are penalties, the calculation on the penalties. So this gives us now more confident, also talking to the off-takers, that we can have the right off-taking agreements. But this is still an ongoing discussion to really set the right long-term agreement. Technology is still also a topic, but can be solved. Right now, the challenge really is approaching this FID, having the ecosystem fully set at the right time, and having still a lead time for the years to come to make these projects really built, because we cannot do SAF projects, eSAF projects in a small scale. It needs to be, in order to be competitive right away, a size which always is 100 millions, better actually $1 billion project. And so think about the $1 billion project, people putting the money in, be it equity, be it the debt, or some more advanced structuring, they need safety, security. And this is right now the challenge, to give the trust in these projects. But I think we moved ahead. Policy helped now in Europe to make a frame. It's debates if it's a right carrot and stick approach or not, but we prefer to have something we can rely on, not debating too much anymore, is it the best or not best solution. We have something in Europe to build upon and to have a trust in the projects we develop.
And I think you said the word scale. I mean, scaling is basically the whole theme of this year's conference and how we can scale the SAF industry as a whole. And there's so many different aspects going to help to do that. We're kind of taking small steps towards that now. And as you mentioned, when we achieve commercial scale SAF facilities, it's going to be fantastic to see. You've obviously, been involved in some SAF projects already as Smartenergy. Can you tell us more about the 3 SAF link projects that you recently announced in Portugal? What kind of technologies will be incorporated in those projects?
Yeah. Well, we had the how can I say, advantage that we have been very active in Portugal on the renewable side since quite a while. With that, having access to large-scale renewable sources. We also have made a good relationship with the important stakeholders, especially also the airports, the relevant airport, Lisbon and Porto in Portugal. Right now, we are really setting up the partners for these projects. We have presented here in the conference some more details about the sizing, how many tons will be delivered. And the good thing about this project is that we are really on the right timing right now. We see that with these timelines we have now to fulfill the quotas, we are right spot on to have the right decision within the 1-2 years now to get to FID for these projects. And these projects right now are also built in the combination with the industry there, because CO2 is the key topic to get additionally into the project. And we have engaged early on with some key industries like ceramic or like the cement industry. These players are fully on board to move forward to provide a combination of decarbonization of the industry, getting their CO2, and there is a rule in Europe that by until 2039 you can make fully use of these CO2, and at the same time approaching the SAF with the CO2 making synthetic fuels.
That's fascinating. I'm really interested to see how the projects progress as well, and obviously so many different moving parts, right? Christian, thank you very much for joining us today. Really appreciate you sharing your insights and hope you enjoy the rest of the Congress.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.